G'day everyone, Matt Hunt from Cross Life here in our our green couch discussions. This is a change, which is timely because we're actually moving to a different focus in our interviews as well. We're going to talk about some frontline interviews. And I have Zach Haslem here with me today, who's from our Southport campus, married to Laura, a little boy Solomon, is that right? Samuel, I knew the S's were one or the other, but that's all right. They were both, well, they weren't, anyway, it doesn't matter. So, Zach, tell us, what do you see as a frontline?
Well, for me, a frontline is a space where you spend most of your time, but it's most of your time with people who aren't Christians, people who haven't yet met the Lord. And so for me, my frontline would be my workplace. That's where I spend a lot of time in a non-Christian environment.
Yep. And so how do you find you influence your frontline as a Christian in your workplace?
Well, it can be very difficult to influence in our different spheres in this current world and the age that we live in. I work in government, so that's no secret. So obviously there's a lot of things to take into context, but I think for me it's really about just showing love. Mm-hmm. It's about embodying the fruits of the Spirit. Mm-hmm. We live in an environment, in a world where we've had people who have been hurt by Christians, hurt by comments or judgments, and I think at the end of the day we have to remember that we're not here to judge people. In fact, God calls us to love. And so that's the embodiment, and that's what I try and do. It's not so much me having direct conversations with people of how they should follow Christ, but it's about embodying those fruits of the Spirit so that people might look at me and go, why is he like that? Yeah. Why does he act in that way? Or why does he behave in that way? And start to sow some seeds there. Okay.
And do you find that people know you're a Christian at work and ask questions at times?
Yeah, so it's I'm very open about my Christianity. I talk a lot about, what I do within my church and within my community as well. So everyone, I've started a new role, so everyone's not fully aware. But in my old role, everyone was fully aware. And people would ask questions about, what I'm doing on the weekend or how I'm serving as well. Yep. So
now, on the weekend, you lead worship at our Southport campus. How is this a different outreach, or how does God reveal himself differently to you at that moment?
Worship is such an intimate space, and when we look at music it actually has a biological response. It actually triggers different chemicals to be released in our brains, and so music can really change your mood. We often look at movies where you'll have like a woman or a person who puts on all this sad music because they want to wallow in it. They want to sit in that moment. So music can trigger our emotions. So it's really important to remember, and I'm very cautious when I'm planning different worship sets around that. And it's about being able to be flexible and adapt to the moment. So for instance, there have been times where I've rocked up and I've done all these songs, we've gone through them, and I've felt God go, no, you need to scrap that and pull this completely thing that you haven't practiced. And then I freak out my whole band and
what's going
on? And then the fruit that you see from that, though, like when it really is a God-derived moment, and you get into the service and you're singing that song, and you can just feel the Spirit moving. Is awesome.
So there's a sense in which God works both in that sort of setting, but also in your workplace as you're following Him on your front line.
Yeah, absolutely. And so,
is there anything that has encouraged you in your work as a Christian on your front line that you go, hey, this encourages my faith too, not just my skills and my expertise?
Yeah. I think for me, the things that I've had encouraging for me is when I've had God speak into a moment or speak into a place. There have been times where I've felt God say, check in on this person or check in on that person, when I've really had no justification or reason to do so. And that's resulted in that person, who's been struggling with something. And so that's been really encouraging to have that, to be able to actually say, well, I'm checking in with you because just God's put this on my heart to check in with you, and then for them to go, oh, these are all the problems that I've got, and for God to work in that way and work through me in that way is really awesome.
So it sounds like you've got your antenna up saying, Lord, what are you doing no matter where I am, including at the workplace? It's not like you leave faith on a Sunday, but you take it into your workplace during the week.
Yeah, definitely. It's always something that I can do better, and it's always something that anyone can do better. But I try to spend regular time every day connecting with God, and also seeing, what direction am I moving in next? Where do you want me to go?
Yep.
Is God's hand in this decision or this action of my life, and where I'm moving to?
So, one final question. How have you seen God use you as a vessel in your workplace? I can use the word vessel, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I think it comes back to those times where, it's been laid on my heart to do those different things. And as I spoke before about, being a seed, I like to see myself as a seed planter or a seed waterer.
Yep.
So I might not be seeing the fruit of my actions or the fruit of the things that are happening within the workplace. But I like to think that down the track that people are actually starting to question, well, how can I embody those things? How can I do those things? And I don't need to see the fruit, but I work for the kingdom, and so I need to be a part of that. And I can be a part of that by planting seeds and watering the crop.
Fantastic, mate. Well, I know you've got a new role on the Gold Coast now in your workplace, so it's a whole new thing for you.
Yes.
And be new opportunities to be a vessel there too.
Yeah, there will, yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll hear more about your frontlining conversations on a Sunday as well. Yeah. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll hear more stories of people on their front lines at Cross Life and through Cross Life as we follow God's lead. God bless. G'day everyone, my name's Matt. Welcome to the Cross Life YouTube channel. Make sure you press like and subscribe and the bell so you get notifications to see more of our great Cross Life videos.